Guys, it's your girl T, and I wanted to come on here and talk about the whole Bobbi Kristina situation. Lots of people have been sending me emails about this. When I first heard about it this weekend, I was really disturbed. I was like, I didn't understand what was going on, and it took me back to 2012 when Whitney Houston was found in a bathtub, deceased. That's the same thing I thought about Bobbi Kristina. And then another thing that's kind of bothered me is all these news stories. One minute they're saying that she's brain dead, that they need to be making funeral arrangements for her, that she's not coming out of it. And then today they're reporting that she's doing much better, that there's brain activity, and that she should be recovering from this. So I don't know how bad her state is or how good her state is, but everything is just really, really sad. I feel like Bobbi Kristina has been going through so much over the past few years. I remember when everybody was going in on her for losing all that weight and they were making fun of her and everything else. And I said in that video that I can't go in on this girl because she's been through a lot. And when you lose a parent, it's one of the hardest things that you can go through. And especially when it's done in the public eye. You figure her mother was not just a regular mom. You know, a regular mom to her, yes. But Whitney Houston was like a mom to so many of us. You know, so many people love Whitney Houston. So I couldn't imagine having to mourn like that in front of the public. You know, her losing weight, her battling, you know, addictions and just things that she's had to go through as a teenager and as a young person. From what I'm hearing, they're saying that initially this was a suicide attempt, that she called her husband Nick Gordon and said that, you know, you better get over here, I'm going to kill myself. Nick got there. He found her in the bathtub. They're saying that Nick was the one who pulled her out. He gave her CPR. He called 911. So the whole situation is just really, really heart-wrenching. And then what also bothers me too is that now the family is supposedly blaming Nick. They're saying that he's banned from seeing her in the hospital. They don't want him anywhere near there. You know, and I feel like at the end of the day, their concern should not be about Nick Gordon. Their concern should only be about Bobbi Kristina. That's her husband. You know, from what I'm hearing, they might have been going through a break or a separation right now. But I feel like he does have the right to be there if he has her best interest at heart. If he didn't care about her, he would not have been there trying to resuscitate her and trying to call 911 to save her. You know, I feel like sometimes his family tends to blame, you know, the guys, just like they blame Bobby Brown for so long for Whitney Houston's addictions and the things that Whitney Houston went through. And I feel like they're doing the same thing to Nick Gordon. And honestly, when I saw Bobbi Kristina and Nick Gordon, it seemed like that was the happiest times in her life was when she was with him, you know. And people are saying, well, it was just, you know, about a year or so ago that she got into that really bad car accident with Nick Gordon, and, you know, maybe he's bad luck or he's trying to do things to her. At the end of the day, nobody was there. Nobody knows what went on in that room with her. You know, I just want her to have a speedy recovery. I just want her to be okay. You know, she's only 21 years old, and at 21 years old, she has her whole life ahead of her. You know, she was saying recently on Twitter that she was excited to get back into the studio, that she was going to start working on some music and really, really focusing. I just think that for a long time, Bobbi Kristina has been trying to find herself. She's been trying to break away from her mother's shadow and her father's shadow. After all, she's a child of not one but two famous parents. So I just feel like she's just trying to find her own way, you know, and it's sad that she felt the need to try and kill herself, or if it was some type of overdose or just whatever happened to her. I don't know, because there's so many stories, so many speculations. Like I said, I just want her to be okay, and I just wish her nothing but the best. So the whole situation is just sad, but I just wish the media would get it right, because one minute they act like, you know, they're about to have her funeral, the next minute they're saying that she's okay, you know, but by the grace of God, she'll make it through and she'll be okay. And I just hope that she just learns, take it slow, love herself, and be the best Bobbi Kristina that she can be, because she's never going to be Whitney Houston. She's never going to be Bobby Brown. All she can be is Bobbi Kristina, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, she doesn't owe anybody anything. Not the public, not the fans of Whitney, not the fans of Bobby Brown. The only one that she needs to worry about and take care of is herself at the end of the day. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire situation concerning Bobbi Kristina. You know, what do you think happened to her in that room? Do you feel like it was a suicide attempt? Do you feel like it was a possible drug overdose? And then how do you feel about the family trying to ban Nick as if he did something to Bobbi Kristina to cause this? So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. All right, deuces.